Hi, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be showing you a super quick and easy way to correctively tone your hair. I'm also going to be showing you one of my go-to hair care routines for after coloring and toning my hair, featuring Fructis' Grow Strong Thickening Shampoo and Conditioner and the Grow Strong 10-in-1 Leave-In Spray. So thank you to Garnier Fructis for sponsoring a portion of today's video. I'm going to be showing you a super easy technique that you can use whenever you have something like more specific to correct in your hair. So say you love the overall color, but there's certain areas that are either more brassy, kind of reddish looking, and you want to correct those. You essentially need two things: the right formula to correct that specific tone down, but also the application technique. And how you apply that toner to that area is just as important. Typically, an all-over toner is placed all over. It actually only tones the lightest pieces of your hair. So if your hair is multi-dimensional and you have 2-3 shades kind of in your hair, the second you apply a toner, it's always going to tone/darken the lightest pieces in your hair. If it's the base or the darker areas in your hair that are red, typically an all-over toner does not help. And the reason for that is you would have to go so dark or so ashy for it to tone down the brown that it would completely ruin your blonde and light pieces. Now, that's not to say that you can't still kind of tone down or correct any brass in your base color. It just means it has to be the correct formula and applied correctly. All right, so I'm going to be showing you what formula I use, how much to mix, how long to leave it on, and how to apply it. So let's get into it. Okay, this is the mess we're working with. As you know, I did add extensions a couple of weeks ago, and basically I haven't toned my hair to the extensions yet. I obviously matched the color fairly close to my existing color, but I always feel like it looks the best once I've kind of toned everything. And instead of just doing one all over toner just to kind of mute it down, I think I need a little more contrast. And I feel like down here with where the extensions are, I feel like it's too much one color, but then there's like pops of kind of more yellow than I like. So I'm going to be using two formulas. First is going to be essentially my low light, which will be a mixture of 7M Shades EQ and of course mixed with processing solution. And I'm going to be mixing that equal parts, 1 ounce of the 7M, 1 ounce of the processing solution. And then once that's sitting, I'm going to go in with my kind of all over toner. This is just to kind of tone and marry everything down. And because I'm using 7M as my low light color, I like to kind of introduce that same color family in my all over toner. So I'm going to be using a mixture of 9M and 10GI. This is probably my go-to most favorite blonde toner formulation. This is perfect for that blonde that doesn't want to be ultra bleach blonde, but definitely doesn't want to be matte or ashy. The 10GI just kind of mellows everything out and makes everything still really bright, whereas the 9M has that like mushroomy kind of tone without being too violety or too ashy. So for that formula, I'm going to be using 1 ounce of 9M, 1 ounce of 10GI, and 2 ounces of the processing solution. I also have a lot of warmth in this area, so instead of just blocking out this area this way, I feel like it'll just look too root shadowy. So instead I'm going to kind of paint more vertically down in any areas that I feel are a little warm. And then any areas that I feel like I feel this whole section here is pretty gold, but if I were to dim all of that. I feel like that would be too much. So sometimes when it's a big area that has more golden tones, I kind of like to break it up. And then add a toner to that area, but only coming to about kind of a halfway mark and leaving those ends out. I think sometimes when toning, especially corrective toning, if you see a whole section and you want to kind of just go over it like overboard, I feel like it's almost too much. It's better to have a kind of a variation and almost a little bit of gold mixed in. I always think that that looks, in the end, way more natural and way more beautiful. Because if you have an area that's a little bit gold, just taking that whole section and toning it out and having then like a splash of overlay ash can almost make the rest of it look more off. All right, and now to kind of marry everything, I'm gonna start grabbing some areas that I've started to tone and kind of bring it down to the extension so that everything blends a little more nice. And then I'm just picking areas that I feel kind of look more yellow to me and kind of start at the root and bring that down. Also, this is probably the first time I've colored my hair on screen with having let my hair completely air dry in all its wild and crazy glory. So typically when my hair is blown out smooth, it's easier to separate. So if this is your first time, I probably suggest having straighter hair just because it kind of makes it easier to separate out sections. So once I've applied my darker shade, I'm ready to go in with my all over toner. And I'm going to go ahead and mix all of that and apply essentially all over. When your hair is lighter, I always do like to leave these front sections for last. And then starting to apply that toner kind of from here on down. I don't have anything up here that's light enough for this toner, so it's kind of pointless to add it up here. As you can see, I left like the last 2 to 3 inches bare because I don't necessarily want to tone all the way to the ends. I want to keep a little bit of that brightness because this will kind of connect to this layer and we want kind of fluidity of brightness in the front. After this is processed for about 10 minutes, I can go ahead and apply to these front sections. Once these front sections have had about 5 minutes, I'm ready to shampoo and condition. Alright, so once I'm finally toned in the shower, I'm going to be using Garnier's Grow Strong Shampoo and Conditioner. Thank you once again, Garnier, for sponsoring this portion of the video. Grow Strong Thickening Shampoo is the first step in my routine, followed by the conditioner. The shampoo is formulated with biotin, vitamin C, and blood orange extract. The system provides up to 72 hours of a fuller and thicker looking hair, and also I absolutely love the smell. When I was 15 and went to Europe for the first time as an almost adult. My luggage was lost for a week, and being in a new country and without your things, I was completely lost. And I remember going to the corner shop to buy some shampoo, and Garnier was the only thing I recognized, so that's what I bought. And forever now, the smell of Garnier always brings me back to that summer trip. So Garnier forever will have just the special place in my heart. I know you all probably have that one shampoo or that one smell that will bring you back to a specific time in your life. So the Grow Strong line instantly adds fullness of body, making fine hair feel stronger, healthier, and without weighing it down. Once I'm out of the shower, I like to towel dry my hair. I like to go in with the 10-in-1 leave-in treatment. I love a multi-use product, also formulated with biotin, vitamin C, blood orange extract. And here are its benefits. It instantly adds body, it strengthens from root to tip, it offers 450 degrees Fahrenheit heat protection, it adds bounce, moisturizes, styles super easily, detangles the hair, and leaves no residue. And it does all of that without weighing down the hair. And here are the final results. Toned, refreshed hair, and nourished and protected by Garnier's Grow Strong line. If you're looking to try something new to kind of revamp your hair and make it feel shiny, luscious, and smelling wonderful, I highly suggest you try Garnier's Grow line. Maybe you've tried Garnier in the past, you haven't tried this line. The leave-in treatment alone is good enough reason to try it, but I think using the shampoo and conditioner and leave-in treatment together is just like the perfect trifecta. So you can go ahead and click the link in the description box to shop Garnier's Grow Strong line. Alright guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions about the toner, please leave it down below. It felt so nice to come back with long hair and with a tutorial based video, and I'll see you in the next one.